Hello, everyone. Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 403. Andrew here. And, so I had mentioned last week. No, wait, was it last week? Did I skip last week? Why is my door unlocked? How long has my door been unlocked? Alright, that makes me feel better. Gated community, but still. Maybe I said it on the Sunday stream, but I had mentioned that I had an interesting project, something cool to show off, and that happened today. I was privileged to sing a harmony part and provide the voice of Bonsai on RafScrap's new cover of Be Prepared from The Lion King, which debuted today. So if you've not seen it, I'll throw a little link in the chat and you can go watch it. In fact, you should probably just stop watching the podcast because, you know, music is better than me yapping at you about movies and video games and stuff. So, hope you enjoy. That's, if you recall, Raph is someone I had on my podcast about a month or so, 5 weeks ago or so, for the 400th episode. That was the woman I was interviewing on that podcast. Sang on one of her songs, so that's fun. And I hope you enjoy it. So, alright, what are we talking about today? Also, I'm working on a little bit of a, well, not really little, the damn thing's like 2,600 words so far. Working on a behind-the-scenes video talking about the experience of working on that project from my perspective. Would not expect that for at least another week, so probably week after next, something like that. So if you're curious as to how long the project took, what went into it, at least from my perspective, I'll have a video detailing that kind of stuff in a couple weeks. So, all right, that's it. Be prepared. Go to RafScrap's channel and watch that because it's fun. So I was talking to someone at work, like I do. Friday morning, I was talking to one of my workmates, and he mentioned the Switch 2. I forget exactly what he was talking about. But I thought to myself, Switch 2, eh? Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I looked at the calendar, which is not on a watch because I'm not wearing one, and I realized that Switch 2 comes out in less than 2 weeks, which kind of surprised me because I had all but forgotten about it. Nintendo, I think, did the first reveal in March, if I'm not mistaken, maybe late February, early March, somewhere in there. And then they had their big 40 or so minute, Nintendo Direct, which showed off a bunch of the games on April 2nd, I think, and then nothing. Now, I am not omnipresent. I do not exist everywhere at all times, so it's possible I'm just hanging out in the wrong places, but so far as I've seen, there's been no advertising, no marketing, no hype. None of the enthusiast sites I read are actually talking about it. I mean, I think I've read like maybe 2 articles about the Switch in the last month, nearly 2 months. There was an article that was talking about how Nintendo is confident that stock would not be a problem. Okay. I mean, they always say that, but, sure. And then I saw another article saying that some higher up at Nintendo had implied, at least, that the Nintendo Switch may not keep to its price of $450. It may actually go up from there. And that's it. And again, it's possible that I'm just paying attention to the wrong places, but man, I'm if my finger's on the cultural pulse regarding the Nintendo Switch 2, it's friggin' flatlined. Um, so is it just me? Am I just kind of paying attention in the wrong spots? Is anyone looking forward to this? Is there any excitement anywhere? Because again, I've seen no commercials, no advertising, no marketing. The websites I visit aren't really talking about the Nintendo Switch too much. Does anybody care that it's coming out? I don't know. ETH Demon says, enjoy Switch 2 for those buying it. I won't. Cass says, I'm trying to take a night off from work to go to a midnight release. Okay, midnight release of what? Oh, to a midnight. I'm sorry. So I thought you meant like tonight. Oh, for the Switch 2. Okay. Bad Nintendo fan I am, says the Demon, forgetting about the Switch 2. Shame, shame. Yeah, I know. I was like, that's why I'm trying to rationalize and excuse myself by saying, well, there's no marketing and no advertisements and no one's talking about it and no one's writing about it, so it's not my fault. I'm still a good Nintendo fan. um, if Damon says, I mean, there's nothing really to say, to be honest, and I guess that's the case. It's like Nintendo's probably sitting there going like, what? Mario Kart comes out at launch, and then you're just going to play that until Donkey Kong comes out, and then you're just going to play that until Metroid comes out. What? 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 Um, so, sorry, hang on a second. There we go. So, yeah, I've talked about my feelings on the Nintendo Switch 2. At present, I don't really care. Like, I have nothing against the Switch 2. Donkey Kong Bonanza looks fun, but that doesn't come out until July. I'm sure Metroid Prime 4 is going to be fun, but that doesn't come out until, I think, 2025. I would assume it's going to be a fall release date, maybe late September at the earliest, prior to Christmas, right? Um, and then that's about it. I mean, I'm sure there will be other Rhythm Heaven something, Rhythm Heaven, Rhythm Heaven, Smorgasbord, whatever it's called. That one's coming out. I don't even remember if it's specifically a Switch 2 game. I just remember there's a new Rhythm Heaven after 15 years. Like I keep wanting to say Ribbit. Rhythm Heaven, whatever it's called. What was the last one was on the Wii. It was Fever, and that's like what 2011 or something like that. 2010, 2011. I think they did have a compilation on the 3DS since then, but I think this is the first new Rhythm Heaven in a while. Lindy, hello. So yeah, Switch 2. It's coming out. Will it sell? Probably. I'm just kind of surprised that there's no hype. I mean, I went on Amazon to just double check the release date, and it's not being sold on Amazon. Now, to be fair, it is being sold at Walmart, Target, GameStop, and Best Buy, and Nintendo's online store. Did Nintendo and Amazon have a falling out at some point? Because their games are not showing up. It's not just the Switch 2. It's Nintendo games. They are, in like the last half year at least, their games just do not have product pages on Amazon until they're actually released. I wonder if there's some legal thing that happened there. Like Nintendo's like, no, you can't have a product. You were bad, Amazon. You leaked something, and you can't advertise our games and pre-sell our games until they come out. Nah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything like that. I just find it kind of weird. Amazon can't do pre-orders for Nintendo anything. Yeah, because there's no product page, and I would assume that's deliberate. I doubt Amazon's like being stubborn or something. I would imagine Nintendo said no, and I'm wondering if it was like Amazon like accidentally put up a product page for something before it was officially announced. I know Walmart's done that Not necessarily exclusively for Nintendo, but Walmart's done that a few times in the last several years. Um, let's see. Caleb, hello. Might try to sneak a purchase for one, but I'm not sure. Really hadn't committed to not committed to buying it day one. Yeah, neither am I. Although pretty savvy for Nintendo to kind of imply that it's like, hey, plenty of stock, but we can't guarantee we can keep the price at 450. It could go up. So if you're not into Mario Kart World, that's cool. That's cool, yo. But maybe you should buy it at launch anyway because the price might just go up. Savvy. Um, yeah. For me, the price is. I'm not interested in Mario Kart World. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just racing games aren't my thing. So the first game that's on the Switch 2 that is of interest to me is Donkey Kong Bonanza, which doesn't come out till July. So July would be unless some other game sneaks out before then. But July would be the absolute earliest I'd want to get it. But so we're looking at a $450 console. We're looking at games that are like seem to be $70 at minimum. And I'm yeah, much as I'm looking forward to Donkey Kong, no, I'm not paying $70 for it. So I mean, and I have to buy a Pro controller because unless they did something amazing with the Joy-Cons, I don't want to use those. They're not comfortable. Um, Also, what's with all the so-called gamers I'm seeing on social media begging and pleading and pitching a fit over how cheap games are and going to tell it on a mountain that games should be more expensive. I want to pay double the price. And you should all too. I'm like, I don't think you're an actual gaming consumer person. I I think you're I think you're a plant. Like I mean, even if regular casual gamer kids like us are like, yeah, I mean, games cost a lot to make. They're really complicated. They give us hours and hours of fun. I think they're worth more. I still can't imagine any actual person going like, oh man, they're making me pay $70 for something I really, really want to be paying 135 for. Ah, I feel so dirty paying $60 or $70 for these games. If only they would charge me more. Yeah, I don't believe you. That's just weird. That's weird. Stop doing that. It's weird. Um, Let's see, Eighth Demon, don't play my Switch One much. I'm a PC gamer for the most part. Kind of been that way since 2010. Yeah, yeah, most of my gaming is done on the PlayStation because if it's a game I want to play and it's only available on the Nintendo, well, there you go. But if it's available on pretty much anything else, it's a better experience almost anywhere else. Not handhelds, although that they're not really making those much anymore. Uh, Not on phones, at least for me. I really, really detest playing things on the phone. But generally, if you've got a game that's on the PS5 and the Switch, I'm going to get it on the PS5 because it's just going to be a vastly better experience on the PS5 or the PS4. Vastly better experience. So. I'm in a fortunate enough position where I have both consoles, so I can pick and choose. If you've only got one, well, hey. Back in the day when I only could afford one, yeah, I got the Nintendo console. Granted, the third-party ports were lesser experiences, but I can't live without my Mario and Zelda and Metroid and stuff. Um, Ori says, hello, one question. Hello, Ori. When are you reacting to the winner of Eurovision 2025? Oh, did Eurovision 2025 happen? There was a new winner last Saturday. Apparently, someone they had Eurovision and someone won it. Um, Good question. I would certainly like to do that. I'll probably work on that after I finish my be prepared behind the scenes video. Um, unless I react to it and have nothing interesting to say. I actually did a reaction video to the person who won the year prior to Nemo, so I guess 2023. And I actually recorded a reaction to it, but I just didn't have much to say about it. I thought it was fine. I just didn't really have anything interesting to say, so my reaction was just kind of flat and boring. So I never bothered releasing that one. So I can't guarantee I'll release a video reacting to it because it may be just be boring. But I will definitely try to keep in mind to give that a watch in the coming weeks. And if I feel my reaction is would be of interest to anyone, I'll definitely make a video of it. Thanks for asking, and thanks for letting me know. Because, yeah, American. I didn't even know Eurovision was happening. Although I probably could have guessed it's the middle of the year, and it's when it seems to happen is kind of the springtime. Let's see. Caleb says, think Amazon used to sell and ship games ahead of street date, maybe? Yeah, it's probably something like that. Or it might be even something like, third-party sellers got their hands on merchandise early and then sold it through Amazon, and so Nintendo wanted to nip that in the bud. Something like that. Um, can't even buy eShop currency on Amazon. Huh. Chicago, hello. Oh, the Switch 1 Pro controller is compatible? Oh, did I know that? You know what? Someone probably told me that at some point, or I read that factoid and I completely forgot. Well, that saves me like 80 or $90. Because I mean, do I need the Switch 2 Pro controller? I don't think so. I'm I have no use for the C button. I'm not going to be using the chat feature. And I believe the little buttons on the inside are just for remapping or something. So it's possible some games might actually use those buttons for functionality, but we'll have to wait and see. Chicago says, I feel like anyone who claims games should cost more are trolls. Yeah, trolls or like people who work in the industry and who would benefit from games being more expensive. I can't imagine there's a bunch of just average folks who buy and enjoy video games going like, gosh darn it. If only it cost more. If only I had to spend more time budgeting to afford my video games. If only I had to sacrifice more to buy video games. I mean, you know what? I was gonna buy a video game, but man, if I don't have to be concerned about how much money I'm spending on food that week, or if I'm gonna be able to make rent, then I just don't get as much value out of the game. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. Or somehow employed by gaming companies. Yeah, I agree. Basically trying to self-rationalize why Nintendo's charging $80 not to be a ripoff. Like, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I'm seeing these people. It's like, well, really, if you look at the history and inflation, like, look at this game. It costs $60 back in 1998. Why, that's $135 today. And they're leaving out a couple of things. Number one, that was that game at at launch from that retailer, right? But another thing is like, I mean, even if you could make its case, it's like, look, games really should cost $135. That's how much they're worth. Okay, cool. You've successfully made that argument. Congratulations. I'm not paying $135 for a video game. Now what? I mean, you can argue till you're blue in the face that games should cost $135 or whatever obscene amount. I don't think most people are going to pay it. You know? I'm sure some will. I'm sure many will. Will it be enough? I don't know. I mean, if you're going to double the price of games, you've got to make sure that slightly more than half actually buy them. Because if it's the other way, well, then you're losing money. And also, people are just buying. But you also have to look at it from this perspective. If someone pays $135 for a game, that's less games overall that they're buying. And that may be less of your games that they're buying, or it may be no games of yours, because they may have, it's like, well, shit, I can only afford one game this half of the year, and I'm going for company A, and, well, you're company B. You're SOL. If games didn't cost $135, maybe Lil Samantha would have bought a game from company A and a game from company B. Or of course, Lil Samantha might go, you know what? Screw the AAA stuff. I'm just gonna, buy games like Vampire Survivors and Balatro and stuff, stuff that I could afford. Just get Expedition 33 for 50. Yeah, Claire Obscura Expedition 33, I think launched at 50. That's kind of what I was going for. It's like, yeah, you can find circulars from the mid 90s showing off a Super NES or an N64 game that cost $60, and it's like, yeah, okay, that was that game. And the question is, did anyone buy it at that price, or did they have to slash the price the next week because no one bought it? Right? I remember Earthworm Jim 2 for the Super NES was in a circular for like $70 or $74.99 or some obnoxious thing. I remember this back in the early to mid 90s. And I remember it because it was absurd. I wanted to buy Earthworm Jim 2 because I liked Earthworm Jim 1. But I sure as colorful language was not going to pay that much for Earthworm Jim 2. I mean, I was, 14 or 15 or something like that. I couldn't afford it. So, yeah, charge $80, charge $100. I don't care. I'm not going to buy it. I have a gigantic backlog of video games. I'll be fine. But, yeah. So, Lindy says, looking forward to the Be Prepared behind the scenes video. Glad to hear it. Yeah, that was a really fun project. And, I mean, I did very little on it. All I did was sing one harmony part and voice like 4 or 5 lines for Bonsai. Raf and her collaborator did literally everything else. But I got to sit on Raf's Discord channel and watch them go back and forth over the mix and the art and stuff like that. And that's some of the stuff I'll be talking about in the behind the scenes in 2 weeks, maybe, whenever I get it done. So, let's see. Caleb says, I think Amazon had that program a while back where you could pre-order games for like 10% off, and I wonder if that was it. Maybe. Lindy says, for the price on video games these days, you don't even get to own a physical copy. Yeah, another thing is, yeah, sure. I mean, even if I did pay $75 for Earthworm Jim 2 for the Super NES back... Do I even have... Hang on a second, I'm curious now. Okay, so, clearly, I bought it eventually, but I know I sure as heck did not pay $75 for this thing. So, anyway, Earthworm Jim 2. I knew. I was pretty sure I had it. I was like, I have it, don't I? I mean, I did buy it eventually, right? And yes, I actually did. So I still have it. Another one I have is I have the Lion King too. So, just I thought it was funny because we just did the "Be Prepared" song. So, um, oh, also another fun reason to watch the Raf's "Be Prepared" cover is there's a so I'm doing the voice for Bonsai, one of the hyenas, the one that was voiced by Cheech Marin in the movie back in '94, and she draws Bonsai as a caricature of me, and it's adorable. But I mean, with this as a base, how could it be anything but? Man, the first time I saw the art for Bonsai, I about fell out of my chair. I really was not expecting that. So it's been a fun couple of years recently because I've seen a couple different artists take on drawing me. So there's a regular and a chibi version that Raph does. There's the version of me that Lindy drew for the movie mandates art that I commissioned her for. Riku Palandina did the that little cartoon of me eating a pepper for the Extra Life charity event. I think the 2023 one. So I've been privileged to see a bunch of different takes on caricatures of me. So it's been pretty fun. Let's see. But yeah, what Lindy was saying is that's the nice thing is even if this sucker was $75, you own the damn thing. You can't take this away from me. It's a physical copy. I own this. 'Tis mine. It's there. All mine. Can't have it. You can shut off whatever servers you want. I just have to plug in my Super NES and play it. So, let's see. I'm going to be more selective going forward, says Chaos, in which games I'm buying. Yeah. My backlog will last me the rest of my life. Yeah, same. Like I could never buy another video game and I would still not get through my backlog before I shuffle off the Mortal Coil. Um, oh man. Lunch was pretty good the first time. Second time, not so much. Tarttooth, hello. Andrew, do you still follow your $50 rule from back in the day? Are you skipping the Switch 2 for now? I generally do follow the $50 rule. I mean, it's not a it's not a hard and fast rule or anything, but generally I will not pay more than $50 for a video game. I do make a couple exceptions for that. If I were to buy something like Steel Battalion, right? Something that had a gigantic plastic controller with it, sure. I bought Guitar Hero 3 for $80 back in the day, and it came with a big plastic guitar. I think Donkey Konga was like $60 because it came with the bongos. Or was it Jungle Beat? I don't remember. It was probably Donkey Konga, and I got that mainly because I wanted to play a Jungle Beat. But I will also pay more than $50 for a game if it's for a gift or if it's for like the charity event. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, yeah. If there's a game I want, I wait until it's $50 or less. That's just generally how I do it. Am I waiting on the Switch 2 for now? Yes, mainly because I do feel it's overpriced. But $450 is more than I wanted to spend for a console that's a generation and a half behind at least. I mean, it's again like the Switch is generation and a half behind because it's portable, but that's a feature that I don't personally value, so it's kind of frustrating. But really, it's just a matter of there are no games at launch that I want. Mario Kart World looks really cool for a Mario Kart game, but I'm not into Mario Kart. So there's nothing I want to play on the Switch 2 at launch. So I'm not skipping it out of spite or expense. It's just there's no games currently that I want, so I'll be waiting for a bit. Same thing with the Switch. Uh, I didn't buy the Switch until Mario Odyssey came out the following September, October, whenever it came out. There just wasn't anything. Zelda Breath of the Wild was on the Wii U, so I didn't need a Switch for it. Um, so yeah. Let's see. Show and tell time, Chicago. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, I gotta go show. Look, I own toys. Yay for me. Can you? Oh, you can't see it because the everyone you can't see it because the chat is in the way. Let me turn off the chat real quick. See the the pile of plushies that I have over there, proudly displayed in my living room. Yeah, those are all my stuffed toys that I've had over the year, and they all have stories. The only plushie that's not over there is Benny Bear. Well, shit, show and tell. I've told this story before, but I'm sure some of you haven't heard it, so what the hell. This is Benny Bear. Benny Bear is very old and very fragile. Benny Bear used to be white. That's his natural color. Now he's very, very gray, but you can't really wash him because he's gonna fall apart. He used to be full of beans. He's lost a lot of weight because he's becoming rather porous, which is why I don't have him on the pole. He sits on he just lays comfortably on a nightstand now, in a dark room where sunlight doesn't hit him, right? Also, this is not his original nose. He had a hard plastic bear nose that you would expect to see on this type of stuffed animal. This is actually Dodger Dog's tail. So the Los Angeles Dodgers, they had a little. I don't know if they still have Dodger Dog, but Dodger Dog was a mascot that they had in at least in the '80s, and I grew up in California, and so I don't know if we went to a ball game or if someone did and then just brought a Dodger Dog home. But Benny's nose came off at some point and we lost it, or it broke and we couldn't reattach it. So we transplanted Dodger Dog's tail onto Benny's face. So yeah, this stuffed bear was given to me the day I was born. It was put into my crib or whatever container they have me laying in the hospital. The day I was born. So this stuffed animal is older than I am, and I'm 45. So Benny is really, really old and very, very fragile now. So I try to keep him I try not to move him too much, and I try to keep him out of direct sunlight, like a damn mogwai. But yeah, so this is my very first stuffed animal that I ever got, and it's been with me my entire life, and it's hanging in there pretty well, I think. So, well done, Benny. We'll just very carefully lay you over there so you don't fall apart. Uh, let's see. If Demon says, just play this year's Game of the Year for only $50. Interesting fact, 3 of the 4 big games this year, Split Fiction, Expedition 33, and Oblivion Remastered, all $50. Yeah. Really looking, I'm busy with other stuff, but Expedition 33 is definitely on my list. I did pick, yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds, I did pick up for $70. So that one I did splurge on. Although I kind of, I did somewhat justify it. It's like, you know what, I could just use $20 of Patreon money to subsidize it and do a stream, which I did. So, I still paid $70 for it. But yeah, it's kind of how it's like when I bought the overpriced DLC for Judgment 2. I justified it by playing the DLC on on stream and spending my Patreon money on it. So, oh, let me turn the chat back on. Sorry. Um, the interesting thing about Monster Hunter Wilds is I've been seeing a lot of ink spilled over. Oh, the player base is dropping off. It's falling like a stone. I'm like, the game's been out for 3 months. People played it. They're done playing it now. They've done everything. They've got everything. They've beaten all the monsters. They're good. You'll see it come back up when an interesting event quest comes in. You'll see it come back up when the Capcom collaboration event this coming week happens. You'll see it shoot back up when Laggy comes back for Title Update 2. But I mean, I've put in over 200 hours on the game. I'm done. I'm playing Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I occasionally pull Wilds off the shelf. You know, I pulled it off the shelf this week so that I could get the flowing scarf thing from that one event quest. And I was like, yeah, I got my scarf. Okay, back on the shelf, right? It's like, were you expecting people to play Monster Hunter Wilds forever? At some point, you finish. I mean, there's going to be more content, but I think most players, particularly those who started near when the game launched, are pretty much done. They've got they've got their sets and armors the way they want them. And when new content comes out, they'll pull it back off the shelf and play it for a few hours and enjoy it, and then put it back on the shelf until something new comes out. It's not that big a deal. Chill themselves. Chicago says, does that mean you're going to have to get stoned to voice the hyena? Oh, you should show off the artwork with me in it. If you scroll back up in the chat, the project's done and it was released this afternoon, so you can already see it. I've already done I've recorded the singing and the voiceover, like the first week of this month, so like 4 weeks ago. So it's all done, and you can see the art in the video. I'll let me see. Let me get the link and put it in the chat again. I think that's it. Let me double check that. Make sure I'm not actually linking the wrong video, because I've got a bunch of tabs open with a lot of videos. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, it was funny. One of the things I'll talk about in the behind the scenes was trying to record my part and the voiceover without clipping the amplitude of the waveform going above what can be recorded, right? And the singing bits, I managed to get my settings right for the singing bits, but that high-pitched hyena cackle I do at the end of the song, that clipped. And I had to fuss with Audacity adjustments and pull the recording volume down to about 80% so that that high-pitched hyena cackle wouldn't clip. So you'll hear that at the very end of the song and the other bits. The art is really, really funny. I really enjoy it. But I will, in the behind the scenes video, I'll show a couple pieces. I still writing the script. Once I write the script, once I finish the script, I'm gonna ask Raf. I'm gonna run all the behind the scenes bits by her. Make sure she's okay with me showing off some early stuff, because that's her stuff, not my stuff. I can talk about it, but if I want to show off some early stuff, I'd like to have her permission. So. But you can see the final versions in the video that went live this afternoon. Chicago says, you bought Monster Hunter Wilds? It was $70. Was it worth the exception? I mean, I've put well over 200 hours into it, so there are some games like the Yakuza game or Like a Dragon games, Monster Hunter, that you just dump well over 100, north of 150 hours into. Yeah, is that worth an extra 10 or $20? Still don't like paying 70, but the last Monster Hunter game I'd played was Rise. So it had been several years, so I was really jonesing for some Monster Hunter. Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, however, because it came out the same time as Monster Hunter, I waited until that dropped to 50. So, I'm playing it now, and I bought it at 50. So, let's see. All plushies were hand caught in the wild and personally stuffed. Yeah. You don't want to play Welcome Tour on Switch 2? It's only $10. When I first saw it, I said, "Oh, that's kind of neat." And then I heard that it was not a pack-in; it's something they're selling for like $10. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Who's gonna buy that?" I I would be stunned if that sold much of anything, because who's gonna buy it? I mean, it feels like if they created a really nice instruction manual for their video game, right? Right. So you've got this nice instruction manual. It's full color. It's got pictures and stuff in it, and they like sold it separately, right? Like you paid $75 or whatever for Earthworm Jim 2, but it's like, oh, you want the manual? You're gonna have to pay an extra $5 for the manual. The manual's not packed in; it's sold separately. Yeah, that's just very odd choice. Um, Chicago. So Benny Bear is aging like a live human. He's shrinking and got a new nose. Yeah, pretty much. It's getting real. It's not as tight as he used to be. Kind of sagging in places. His insides are starting to leak through his overly porous skin. Melanoma gets us all in the end, says Caleb. Even Benny Bear, yes. Um, Chaos says, I still have my childhood teddy bear. Yeah. One of my, let's see, can you see it from here? Yeah. One of my favorite stuffed animals. See this gigantic rabbit here? Well, I'll go grab it, sure. So when I was in kindergarten, I had a small bear, not Benny, a different bear that I brought in for show and tell one day. And there was one of my classmates grabbed my bear and threw it over the fence, never to be seen again. I don't think I took that very well. I mean, I remember it happening. I remember being angry. I remember being really upset that my stuffed bear was gone. And I remember the teacher, whose name I don't remember, but she bought me this as a replacement. Now, that bear was like pretty small. I mean, it was just a regular little stuffed bear, maybe a little smaller than Benny. And she bought me this gigantic bunny, which is funny because my memory of this thing is it was like the size of me. But I mean, I was in kindergarten, I was 5 years old or whatever. So this was probably almost as tall as I was, or something like that, or like at least half my height. So yeah, the kindergarten teacher bought this for me as a replacement, and wherever that gal is who chucked my bear over the wall, I don't remember her either, but I hope no one threw one of your plushies over a wall, you jerk. Did they punch her in the face? No, I don't. I'm pretty sure no. Um, no, I never got into fights. I did get punched once though. I remember that I did. There were some people who were like, "I'm going to be waiting for you after school." I'm like, "I have to have fun." But I did get punched by one guy. Punched me right in the chest, and he was a really big guy. I mean, he just worked out, just massive dude. And he hauled off and he just punches me and just straight in the chest. And I was like, huh. And I walked away because I was like, oh, I'm getting punched. Oh, I got punched. I was expecting that to hurt. You're like a really big, muscular dude. Huh. And I walked away. Nothing came of it. Um, Reen and I, Reen from Cold Steel, and I have similar backstories, I guess. Lindy says, I'd punch in the face. It went through my stuffed animal out the window. Well, it wasn't out a window. We were in the yard at recess, right? So we were in the contained area where the kids go outside and play, and she just, I don't know why she had it. I don't know if she pulled it from my grasp, or if I set it down and she picked it up, or if she said, hey, let me see your bear for a second, and chucked it over the wall. Maybe she thought she was just gonna chuck it into the hedge in front of the wall and just doesn't know her own strength, but it went straight over the wall, and we told the teacher, and we went out to look for it, and it was just gone. And it's like, how could it be gone? Someone must, in the few minutes, like in 5-10 minutes, someone picked it up and walked off with it. It's a school right there. Clearly it comes from there, but never hit like a lost and found, never found again. Oh well. Irreverent Gaming Channel, hello. So, yeah, so the Switch 2 is out in less than 2 weeks, and I hope someone's excited, because I still like Nintendo. I still love Nintendo. I'm a Nintendo fanboy, and it would make me very sad if Nintendo released a new console and nobody cared. Stray Dog thought it was a chew toy and ran off with it. That's plausible. So, I finished watching Star Wars Andor Season 2. And I really liked the first season once we got past the first 3 episodes. The first 3 episodes of Andor Season 1 kind of left me cold. But once it hit episode 4, I was like, ooh, this is really good. And then it just got better and better. I'm like, my God, this is one of the best Star Wars things there is. Huzzah! And then they came out with Season 2. I was like, all right, bring it on. I watched the first episode, and I was like, ugh. I watched the second episode, and I was like, ah. I watched the third episode, and I went, eh. I thought, well, that's okay, because I had the same reaction to the first season. So maybe Season 2 of Andor, I would like the first season. I'd not really be into the first 3 episodes. Not that there wasn't anything to like. There's a lot I liked about it, but overall they left me pretty cold. But I'd really enjoy the last 75% of the series. No, Season 2 was like exactly the opposite. Season 1, didn't care for the first 3 episodes. Last 9 I thought were pretty great. Season 2, didn't care for the first 9 episodes. Last 3 were pretty good. Which was frustrating, because there's a lot of stuff throughout the entire show that I quite like. But overall, I just found I didn't care much about what was going on. I think probably the most interesting thing is Andor himself, I find, is like the least interesting character in the entire show. I just don't care about Andor or his immediate circle of friends. Bix and the other guy and the other person. Like, I just don't care. They just never connected with me. Not a bad show. I thought it ended pretty strong, but yeah. But I did, once I finished the show, I noticed Disney Plus had uploaded Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. And I'm like, were you gonna, like, advertise that? Or are you just gonna kind of dump it on your streaming service and not talk about it? That seems kind of weird. But the concept for this was, it's a special event series, 6 episodes in all. First 3 episodes are a little mini story about Asajj Ventress, and the last 3 episodes are a little mini story about Cade blue face, red eyes, cowboy hat, bounty hunter guy. I forget what the name is. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. I don't know why they made them, the stories, the individual stories of Saj and Cade, 3 15-minute episodes apiece. I was like, why do that if you're just gonna dump them all at once? Why not just make two 45-minute long mini specials, right? Kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special or Werewolf by Night. Those were 45, 50-minute-ish specials, right? Little special presentation. No, they were broken up into 15-minute episodes for no reason I could discern. And they're okay. They're pretty underbaked, in my opinion. Just nothing really much happened. Like, they don't really tell much of a story. Like, Asajj Ventress's story is Asajj dies, or is dead. She starts out dead, but then she gets better, and she goes and works as a bouncer for like a train ticket sales office, and she seems fine. She's like, yeah, I'm not a bad guy anymore, not doing the Jedi assassin thing. I'm just hanging out at a train station and throwing out unruly patrons. It's a living. But then she ends up escorting some random Jedi somewhere, and by the end, she calls him her friend. That's it. That's the whole story. The entire 45 minutes is Asajj Ventress makes a friend. Okay. I mean, that's not nothing, but it's just not that interesting. There's some fun lightsabery stuff and lasery stuff. There's some fun action sequences, and I like Asajj's new hairdo. I like the design of the character. I think that's pretty cool, but it's like there isn't much of an arc. Like, it's not Asajj coming in from the dark side to the light, or she just kind of she starts not being a bad guy anymore. She's put the bad guy stuff in the past, and she's just kind of living, and then one day she makes a friend, and it's not really even that big a deal. Again, it's not nothing. It's just so slight and uninteresting. It's like, what was the point? It feels like someone says, make an Asajj Ventress story. I'm like, about what? Like, I don't know. Isn't she dead? Yeah, whatever. And the same thing with Cad Bane, something like that. It's he grows up on a planet, and then he gets kidnapped by, or rather does a job for some other ruffian, grows up with him, comes back to take revenge on a person who killed him, ends up in jail for 10 years, comes back and guns down the sheriff who put him in jail. But then he finds out that the sheriff had his kid was actually his kid with some lady that was introduced like in the middle of episode 2. We're like, who the hell is that? Oh, I guess they're a couple? Okay. And then she just dies between episode 2 and 3 off camera somewhere. And it's like, oh, that's my kid. Oh, well. And then he walks off, and that's it. And it's like, okay, that... Again, it's not nothing. It's just not very interesting. It's like, shame about that kid who's an orphan now. Watched his dad his adopted father gun down the middle of the street, and now he's got no one. Well, sucks to be him. Okay. Also, I don't know what the hell they were doing with Cad Bane's voice, because he's got kind of a... It's weird, because he's got this deep voice that's kind of a cross between James Cagney and Peter Lorre, which is a really odd choice, particularly because young Cad Bane doesn't have that vocal inflection at all. So when he starts talking like this, and you're like, why is he talking like that? Oh, this is my old buddy Nero. I'm like, what the hell is he doing with the vocal delivery? Um, yeah, so I would say Star Wars Tales of the Underworld is not good. It's not offensively bad or anything, but it does feel like someone said, "Hey, you, me? Yeah, make an Asajj Ventress and a Cad Bane short. I don't work here. Do it anyway. Okay." Yeah. And so they just asked someone who didn't really work there, and he did his best. You know, it's like, okay, Asajj Ventress. All right, who is this? Or more likely, Wikipedia scroll. Oh, she's dead. Huh. Okay, well, they drown her body in water and she comes back for force reasons. Yeah, there we go. So, Asajj Ventress used to be a bad guy, is not a bad guy, and so she makes a friend. That's whatever. That's what I got. I don't know. Uh, do, 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 do. Reverend says, bro, it's been forever. I remember the video that made me sub to you. That Terra video. Oh, the Terra video, yeah. Buy him a bus ticket, travel across the country, and play co-op, yeah. Jedi Care Bear, yeah. Yeah, Reverend, good to see you again. So, yeah, I mean, at least it's if you're gonna be underwhelming, at least be short, and they definitely were. So, kudos there. Finally, I'm still playing through Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and one of the things I've found kind of interesting as a criticism of mine is I think the game is too open. I think it provides too much freedom, and I don't think they charged me enough for it. What I mean by that is even the way I play video games. I got to the main island, Honolulu, in the first few hours, right? You start on an island, you get a boat, you end up in Honolulu, and at this early point in the game, what they want you to do is the overall goal is like, okay, you're going to increase your infamy so that you can rise up in the pirate ranks, right? So they drop you on the island and they're like, okay, wander around and you're going to recruit 15 15 crew members for the pirate ship and raise $10,000 so we can fix the boat so we don't sink immediately. Sounds like a good idea. What I mean when I say the game gives you too much freedom, it's too open, is I'm one of, if you've seen me play, if you've seen my Sunday streams, you know I can't pass up a side quest. So by the time I left Honolulu, I was already a Legend of the Sea, which is like the 5-star rank for pirate, because I'd recruited everybody on the island and I'd done all the side quests and I had about $80,000 because most all of the side, because a ton, all of the area, the entire play area is open to you. All the mini games I think are open. A good chunk of the side quests are there. A bunch of the recruitable members are there. And so I just was, and I was having fun, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed doing it, but by the time I was ready to leave the island, you know, I went to Julie's gear shop and she's like, all right, did you get 15 crew members and $10,000? I'm like, boy, howdy. And so I'm like way the hell overpowered at this point. I honestly think the game should have kept you to one smaller area at first in Infinite Wealth. The first Yakuza game that used the Honolulu map. They kind of gated you to certain areas, mainly by making the enemies in the other area stronger than you're going to want to deal with at that point. Well, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii isn't an RPG. You don't really get more powerful as you level up. That's not how this game works. So you have your complete run of the island, and I think that might have been a mistake. I think a more curated experience would have been beneficial. Like, it may maybe even be like, as soon as you get $10,000 and 15 crew, it's like Majima goes, "Okay, I've got what I need. Back to Julie's," and then it turns your ass around and makes you go that way. You can't do anything else. Um, because again, so the first time I get out of my pirate ship, now we're going to Madlantis and we're competing in the Pirate Coliseum, and I'm just absolutely mopping the floor with everybody because I'm a level 5 pirate with a humongous crew and a fully kitted out ship. Because I just wandered around Honolulu because I just made a full circuit of Honolulu. I'm like, ooh, side quest, ooh, side quest, ooh, recruitable person, ooh, mini game where I can make money. I I don't think that was the intended thing. I think they expected I think they expected me to have some self-control, and I don't. Like, if you put 3 scoops of ice cream in front of me, I'm gonna eat all 3 scoops. If you put a pizza in front of me, I'm going to eat all of the pizza. I mean, if there's other people here, of course I'm gonna share. But yeah, you dump me in the main play area, and I am going to exhaust it of side quests and side activities and recruitable members. Like, I don't think you should be able to I don't think you should be able to achieve Legend of the Sea pirate status before you leave the island for the first time. That that seems like something you shouldn't be able to do. But still really enjoying the game. Fallout Season 2. I watched the first episode of Fallout Season 1 and just wasn't into it. Didn't dislike it or anything. I did a debut review of it, so if you're curious what I thought, you can check that out. But uh maybe I should check out a couple more episodes because really was a lot of people really seem to like Fallout. So yeah, maybe I'll check it out someday. Probably not. There's a bunch of shit. I honestly I wasn't going to check out Squid Game season 2 because I saw the trailer for Squid Game season 2, which made Squid Game season 2 look like a complete rehash of Squid Game season 1. But I've had a bunch of people, including my sister, assure me that that's not the case and it's really good and I should watch it. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Shame the marketing didn't make me feel like that. It gets much better. Okay. I mean, there was a lot I liked about it, but overall, it didn't click for me. So, really looking forward to the that animated Predator anthology thing. That looks fun. As I've been saying for decades, I'm like, dude, Predator versus pirates, Predator versus Vikings, Predator versus ninja. This is not hard. Just do that. And apparently, they finally listened. So. All right, I think that is it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Hope you had a good time. Definitely check out RafScrap's new cover of Be Prepared from The Lion King, not just because I sing a harmony part and voice Bonsai, but because it's really good. And join me tomorrow. Ugh. Goodness gracious, that's unfun. Join me tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time for the Sunday stream. We'll be playing Cold Steel 2. And I made predictions. Reen is now going to be exploring Erebonia, looking for his classmates. We're about to head into Keldic, and I've made predictions about which classmates we'll find in which cities. I don't remember what I predicted. I wrote it down somewhere else. I'll tell you before we start. But I made predictions about which characters we're going to find in which town, so that'll be fun. So thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good night, and hope to see you tomorrow for some Cold Steel. So until then, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.